Good evening, Europe, and welcome into another round of the Unite Fight Club. Spartan Tano here with my co-host, Lobo. How are you doing today, buddy?
Buddy, it is a fight night, baby. I was not here last week because I've been traveling for PAX Australia, but I'm back. I'm comfy. I'm in my home, and I'm ready to watch some Pokemon Unite. These European teams have been throwing down with the fury of Arceus, and we're ready to see them throw it down again. Today, we've got yourselves a best of 5 between two incredible teams, and our second game today is going to be a best of 3 exhibition match, as well as MTZ Esports is going to take on one of the two teams that we're going to see in our very first best of 5 set. So very exciting stuff going on right now, Tano, especially considering Pokemon Unite's gone through a little bit of a change so far. It's not a big change, however, it is big in nature with the big root item coming available right now. And I have to tell you, having been playing some of this this little herb, this little healthy item, I'll say to you right now, I'm a big fan. It's making these tankier Pokemon even tankier, which is going to be a problem for them. So I'm curious to see how it's going to go out today. What do you think of the big root so far?
Well, I want to try it on more different Pokemon. I've seen a lot of people trying it on things like Cerulege, Bitterblade, and it doing quite well, mate. And I just love that experimental phase right now where people are trying it on these different things to see if it works. And I hope we get to see some of that action, mate, because it's rare that we get a new held item here in Pokemon Unite, and it's even rarer for that new held item to be a very good held item. So I can't wait until people find the right way to be using it. But let's have a nosy at what we've got coming up, because we have a schedule to show you. We've got Fearless Draft to show you. This is the schedule, as Lobo mentioned. No Follow are going to be taking on Guerrilla Tactics, and then we are leaving it up to decision. One of those teams will then be going on to take down MTZ Esports. So it's going to be an interesting day of non-stop Pokemon Unite action again.
Buddy, with the official season just around the corner, these teams are shoring up. They're shoring up their rosters. They're shoring up their players. They're shoring up their tactics. They're gonna see how well they do, because if you have to ask me, this offseason has been absolutely fire, especially for this EU region, which we have been covering over here. But let's get to our next graphic, which is what we do. It's the rules that we play by here at the Unite Fight Club, and that is, of course, your Fearless Draft. Tano and I explain this to you every single week. You're probably sick of us explaining it, but we're going to explain it to you again because we know you love to hear us yap, yap, yap all the live long day. Check it out. In match number 1, you can select 5 Pokemon, especially alongside those 2 bands of yours. However, when we go to match 2, you cannot select those 5 Pokemon again. You must, and I repeat, you must bring a new set of 5 Pokemon. After match 2, you now have 10 Pokemon that are unavailable to you, so you must bring another set of 5 Pokemon, and so on and so forth, especially if we get to that ever elusive game 5. There are going to be close to 20 Pokemon that you are unable to play. So if you count both teams, that's 40 Pokemon. If you count those drafts, that's 44 Pokemon. And with a roster of almost 80 Pokemon, Tana, we should be seeing at least one of every single Pokemon if we are ever so lucky to go the distance.
Yeah, buddy, we like to keep everybody on their toes. People love Fearless Draft. I was actually having a conversation in a different league that I cover with one of the players over there, and they were saying that they want the next step in Pokemon Unite, after they've sorted out the Groudon and all the buffs and bans and that kind of stuff, to be Fearless Draft, to administer that into the Pokemon Unite game just in some way, especially in competitive, because they think that is the next step for Pokemon Unite here for this MOBA. And you know what, buddy? I am so on board with it. I think it really brings out a lot of competitiveness in Pokemon Unite.
I mean, who says Engage ain't making waves? If we can make some waves to change the official format, why not? Let's do it, and let's take full credit for it, because The more you see, the more exciting of a game this becomes, Tana. Ain't no one want to see the same 5 Pokemon getting picked over and over again. That's why a lot of people don't like the term meta, but we throw the meta completely out the window, except for game 1 and 2, because that's where we're going to see most of the majority of the Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon that we are not going to see, it's going to be Snorlax, Blissey, Suicune banned off straight away. Those are 3 of the most common bans that we have seen currently at the UFC, with the Emperor Penguin. I thought he was going to get banned up, but it looks like it might just be that Sableye. Nope, once again, liver got baited. Oi, mate, get your stuff together. That's a Clefable.
Oh, that we do love, buddy. No follow here. What are they going to pick up as their first Pokemon? Of course, Empoleon is available, so they're going to grab it right away. Guerrilla Tactics, well, they want to pick up the Palmer. I've just remembered as well, the person I was having a conversation with about Fearless Draft, buddy, it was actually on the new Engage Play Along podcast that we did the previous day, and it was Komai Esports that were on it with me and Zenith as we played some games and asked them some questions. It was a lot of fun, and we actually had that conversation there. So I remembered it. I wanted people to know that's where it came from.
I mean, definitely go check out that podcast. It's going to be so interesting to get to talk to pro players, get to talk to you, sit down with the head honcho himself to talk anything Pokemon. But that Emperor Penguin is going to be very fun to watch, especially if it's good old Potato on it as well. Kree's going to pick up that Trevenant. Now, Trevenant is another one of those Pokemon that I have seen with that big root item just being able to sustain itself for so much longer. Tibby is going to give us our first instances, or my first instances, of seeing Mega Lucario in the UFC. Charikin going to pick up the Latios as opposed to its counter Latias. Daddy Leon, Big Daddy Psyduck is going to come to play as Jean Mardur. One of our favorite support players is going to go with the little trickster.
Yeah, Christo's back on their tried and tested blue bear. I mean, they can also play red bear, but they very much enjoy that blue bear, buddy, and that's what I fully expect. Zante is going to pull out the Miraidon here for that ranged attack on the side of no follow, and we also have the Absol coming out for Guerrilla Tactics. Now, looking at these 2 teams here, Lobo, these are the 2 heavyweights of Unite Fight Club right now. They are both a brilliant set of teams. No follow, they had their first set of games last week, I believe, and they ended up winning it 3-0 versus Los Catacados, which is a massive team here in the EU region. So this is going to be an absolute belter of a set.
I mean, the first time we watched Los Catacados come through, they came through big time, but no follow. Zante, Jean Maduma, Potato, and Cristo. That is a heavyweight team. But Guerrilla Tactics is a no lightweight their own. Charikin, Daddy Leon, Tibby, Kree, and I always forget what those Japanese letters amount to, but no slouches on either of these teams. That Absol versus that Water Bear fight is going to be an interesting one. However, Marv is no slouch with those rock gyms, especially if you get trapped and that Emperor Penguin wants to hunt you down. They definitely can, because that Metal Claw, which is, I want to say, the primary moveset when you've got Metal Claw, and I do believe it's Hydro Cannon. That is that range burst that allows Empoleon to heal. But also, we talked about it before, it's Unite move, Sovereign Slide, baby. That little penguin going to be sliding into them DMs of Guerrilla Tactics if they're not careful.
So, confirmation, of course, it's Snow that's there on the Absol, buddy. A massive player here in this region. I believe previously played for Gen 5, and what a season they had. But now, here we go. Guerrilla Tactics versus No Follow. Looking up here in the top side, who's going to get that level 5 first? If Potato can get that evolution, get some little bit of pressure on, but they're looking for the level 5 on the Lucario as well.
I mean, Lucario is also one of the hardest Pokemon to stack up against. So much stun with that Focus Punch early game alongside that quick attack, just going to be able to allow it to secure. But you've also got the Big Daddy himself with that side looking very schmoovin', ready to go to try and absorb any of that impact. Absol is here early. However, no invade coming in for the little Cubfu. You know the rule in Unite. If you see a Cubfu in the opposite lane, you got to take it down. Speaking of being taken down, Absol Snow gets a KO on Little Blue Penguin, gets sent right back to Earthjoy early game.
Still no points raining on in yet, though, buddy. About to get the 850s to come. No stacks on the board for anybody. Down in the bottom lane, easier route for no follow right now. But in the top side of things, Cristo manages to take a little bit of that experience away. But Guerrilla Tactics has definitely ranged them out. They had 4 Pokemon up in that top side. And no follow have absolutely capitalized on it down in this bottom lane.
Look, Snow is chasing Cristo. Cristo's going to have to make his way out there. Nice rock tomb to save their central laner. Snow's going to hack and slash at this cross. That shell is not going to go down easy, but there we go. We've got Miraidon coming on in, but Lucario picks up the KO in the top side alongside that Prim Plup. Cristo's still in a bit of bother here. 17 on the board for no follow early games. These score lines, Tano, they can range from really early scoring to high scoring, but 8 minutes on the clock. Whew, these guys look like they want to just fight it out, but it's tentative early on.
That it is. I do feel like No Follow need to get themselves a consistent lead before they have level 9 on that Mega Lucario, buddy, because that's when it can truly become a big issue. So they want to capitalize on any little space that they've got, but they're not finding that room just yet. Empoleon's still looking for that first evolution. Guerrilla Tactics, they've got 7 on that Lucario. They've got 7 on Snow. Whoever takes this Regigago could really flip where this goes, and it is going to be taken by Guerrilla Tactics as they look for more experience with these KOs. And Cristo is sent straight back to Nurse Joy. Marv is sprinting back to the pad if they can. Daddy Leon unable to catch them.
And look, here it is. Lucario is one of those Pokemon that you could just leave into that top lane. Charge Beam is going to shred down the Trevenant. Psyduck is here. There's a lot of members, but we've got Absol trying to do that. The electric terrain is going to be put on. Big Fury Cutter coming out. Sorry, X's are coming out for the side of Marv to pick up a few KOs as Cristo finishes off, chopping down that big tree in the top part. The Emperor Penguin is online, going to get a few stacks to make sure that that healing and that damage from Empoleon is very strong. However, we do have both objectives online right now. Bottom side is your Regieleki. Hooper takes the Registeel, which is going to come in clutch as Snow comes in, takes the Regieleki away from Cristo.
Yeah, that was a brilliant effort to make sure that you at least get a objective. And right now, it looks like Guerrilla Tactics, they really want to push onto this pad. Daddy Leon asking if they've got any grapes before he wobbles away. Manages to get the headache off, and now they look for a KO as they do find the Lucario on the side of Cristo. They break the pad, but right now, No Follow answering up with a huge amount of damage, buddy. That's a double coming out for Cristo, and Daddy Leon has to waddle on out of there with so little HP. They are found by Jean Medu. And right now, No Follow have capitalized on the fact that they may not have got that objective. That goal may have been broken, but so much experience was taken.
I mean, after they got the Registeel, that was a very, very interesting tactic by Guerrilla Tactics to push on hard. They knew they had the disadvantage, especially with that Registeel buff. It is the buff that all of these players want to go. As we close in on the 5-minute mark, 92 to 120 early on in this game. Level 10s for your Urshifu and Empoleon. Level 10 for Snow. Only Lucario Dragon just a little behind, but that's one level that they can make up very quickly if they pick out a KO. But Empoleon looks like they want to take down this take on this Lucario. Snow says, I'm gonna get in on this action. Pops the Absol Unite, then hightails it on out of there. Cristo thinks he can chase them down. Snow's gonna try to defend this pad to absolutely no avail. Just gonna leave it as the rest of these teams now return to probably the most important part of this game, Tano, and that's farming.
That it is, but again, that Farmingville online. By the way, I've only just realized that Tibby has put his name as #1 Tano fan. It's taken me half a game to see the name, bro, because I'm just like, oh, that's Tibby.
I mean, if Tibby is a Tana fan, we are all Tana fans. I am definitely the #1 Tana fan. Just changed my name. I should have changed it to #1 Tana fan. As we look into this top side, it is a Reg Ice coming through. Tana fan #1 is going to try and hit it up with the ability of Latios. John Madu decides to call roll. They take a Regieleki in the bottom. Who's going to secure this one? It is going to be Latios with that big amount of damage, but the stun coming out from that unbound Hooper is going to rain down alongside that in head. Charge a beam. Empoleon has to run for its life. The stuns are still coming down, but the damage output from Guerrilla Tactics is huge with the assistance of Latios. Lucario has decided to go into its mega form and get on out, but Charge Beam chases it down. Unfortunately, the #1 Tana fan gets set back to Nurse Joy.
Bro, the range on that charge beam is absolutely insane. Midnight Slash is going to be used here to pick up Christo as well, but they are definitely trying to hunt them down. A huge Rock 2 comes through from Marv. They can't capitalize on it just yet. Sovereign Slide comes through as well as they're looking for the KOs. Look at the whirlpool going around, buddy. Still looking for more. They're so weak, and finally, Potato finds them. Bright Fury Meteor Storm being used here as well to see if they can cut off Cherry King, but they make the wise decision to retreat from that fight. Latios is very capable of dropping a great amount of damage whilst keeping you at range.
I mean, look at the sneaky. All Tano fans around the world are proud of that one with 27 going in unanswered. We got Kree just hiding out in these bushes looking for any kind of engage. 3:15 on the clock, 202 to 174. Snow is looking for an engage in that top path alongside Kree in that bottom path. Has to deal with 2 right now. However, Snow does take down the crosser in the top path, as Guerrilla Tactics looking to gain some kind of favorable momentum, but Christo sends Kree packing right back to the Pokemon Center. Mate, we don't support deforestation here, but Christo just do not care.
Hey, listen, if you're going to win a game of Pokemon Unite, you'll take down any tree that you come across, my guy. Right now, they're getting ready to see if they can take this top objective on the side of no follow. Guerrilla Tactics prefer the bottom lane right here. They do have that goal open, so it will put some pressure onto that tier 2. Only Zante left to defend it at the moment, but with 25 seconds before Groudon takes to Faya Sky Ruins, they're not really going to be concerned about that going in, because you've got to get to that objective.
It just depends whether No Follow decide to take the fight instead. A lot of the time, Groudon has been left to its own devices. That buff, once again, not providing you with enough of a score shield that you can score unabated. Crossel is just looking for these rock tombs. Snow looking like they might go for a 50, but Christo is watching out. Those flowing fists can take down that Absol in quick succession, but it can insta score, which means Christo has to be very, very quick on their timing to go and score. But here we go. Zante, probably one of the best range attackers you and I have ever seen in the E region, but it's about to pop off with the Crossel.
Oh, the difficulty is they don't have any healing to deal with this ranged attack even right now. They do manage to try and catch out Marv, but the Rubble Rouser is going to keep them in a happy state. In the meantime, though, Guerrilla Tactics back in their central area, having to pull in the Empoleon here, but they do manage to get away. Kree, absolutely insane ankle breaking here, but they do end up on the end of the flowing fists as Christo looks for more here. Doesn't manage to find Tibby, though, as they try and bounce through. Bright Fury Meteor Storm is going to bring in the zoning from Zante, and No Follow have the advantage at the moment. Full power Sai from Daddy Leon to reduce that damage coming on in, getting Guerrilla Tactics a little bit of time to get the rest of their team in. We do see Kree coming back into this fight. Groudon is so weak right now, buddy. Who's going to get the secure? We've got a Unite move on Absol, but they're currently down, so it's got to be Kree in the face of it. Cherrykin's got a Crustle in their face, and it's going to be none other than Potato that takes it for No Follow. They have a couple of points to score. They just need one goal to win this game.
202 to 94, but again, we mentioned it before, the scoring is there. Number 1 Tano fan gets sent back down with the electricity. That's not what my co-caster wanted to see. Can they get 49 in and double dunk this one? Nope, they're just going to go for the 50 straight away. Oh, hang on. Crossel did manage to get that in. Snow came in with the Unite move. A double score on bot lane means that they are up almost 212 points with 13 seconds. I'm sorry, 12 seconds to go. They have 212 points, another 100 going in. No Follow, showing they are just as strong as they were last week. It is not a fluke. Go follow these people because they are leading you down the right path.
I mean, these two are so exciting here in this Unite Fight Club, buddy. I love both of these teams. And to be honest, it was close until that Groudon fight. And that is what we're going to have for the entirety of this best of 5. I expect it to go all the way, mate, because it all came down to that final fight as we expect it to. And I think there were some brilliant movements. It was just a shame because Guerrilla Tactics, they didn't really have the healing at that Groudon fight to deal with what Zante was bringing them. I mean, 73k damage there, buddy. But it's so consistent in that Groudon fight that you have to retreat. You've got to go back and get your own healing, and it's not a position you want to be in when you don't have your own heals to protect from that poke.
No, I agree, but a lot of sustain coming out from both teams. Where you look at Trevenant, you look at Lucario playing that close combat moveset as well. They do have the healing. Snow just is able to do damage and get on in out of there as quickly as they can. That's what Absol is known for. But a lot of things went into No Follow's game plan here, just keeping them away from Zante on that Marauder. We saw Marauder picking up a lot of very clutch KOs at full distance of that enhanced charge beam. We're seeing this siege onto tier 1 on the base, but say there goes the flying fist on to Latios to take away the damage. But again, let's not say they still have damage on their side. Urshifu is a very, very hard Pokemon to hunt down. Poor Daddy Leon getting sent back to Nurse Joy at that point.
Ooh-wee, I tell you, it feels like these players, mate, they're fighting for some good rewards at the end of the season. There was just non-stop battling between them. The beams coming in from Zante, again, some brilliant efforts from Snow, but then Marv here with a brilliant catch, but they just don't capitalize on it. Unfortunately, the stun comes through and Potato is locked on out. They use the Sovereign Slide and eventually get some pickups, but it was one of those situations where it's going to be your support and your defender going down here, and you're not going to complain about that, buddy. They're the lowest level Pokemon on the game. You want them to go down to get the rest to escape.
As well as not only that, Empoleon is also a very hard Pokemon to deal with alongside that Urshifu, but you've also got Jean Mardur with the tricks coming through, teleporting Crossel in and out. We see the Rock Tombs to big effect. I said it at the start of the game. Crossel's Rock Tombs can be make or break for a lot of games here. We see Latios, Krista was in there deep, got sent back to a Nurse Joy early on, and then the turnaround here, no follow. Sai, Infinite Sai, Ultimate Sai being used there. It's a defense reduction Unite move, so it's usually used in big team fight brawls. Unfortunately, I think NoFollow did a really good job of breaking up that fight into a whole lot of extra separate fights. And that way, that made the Psyduck a little bit ineffective going into that Groudon fight. And NoFollow was just able to capitalize. Again, Zante, a big problem on that Miraidon.
Oh, yeah, buddy. That worked an absolute treat for NoFollow. But this is Fearless Draft, baby. So you can say goodbye to the Empoleon. So I fully expect NoFollow to ban that Pokemon out now. And then you can say goodbye to these strong picks for these players. Crustle, that we see so many people use. We've got Jean Midu no longer having access to the Hooper. Zante is no longer on that Miraidon. And Christo, of course, doesn't get their tried and tested Blue Bear on the field anymore. This is why we love Fearless Draft, mate. So I wonder how they're going to adjust coming into this. And as I say, I fully expect NoFollow to ban out this Empoleon for the rest of this best of 5.
No, I agree with you. Empoleon is a problem to deal with. Mega Lucario, I want to say, wasn't as much of a problem as I thought it would be, considering how, it was very overtuned when it first came out. It did ridiculous amounts of damage plus healing. I'm not actually sure if it got a nerf or people have just decided that they don't really want to face it that going around. But again, I think that's the problem with Lucario being locked behind one moveset, because you can pretty much counter anything that it's going to do with that close combat into that power punch. Yes, at level 11, it does get the no hindrance applied to it when you're using that power punch. Close combat does heal a lot, but that is the only moveset you are going to be locked into. So when you see that Mega Lucario, there's going to be real no surprises to what that Pokemon is going to bring to the field. And I think that's a little bit of a hindrance to these Mega Pokemon, but maybe that's exactly what they need. I can't wait to see what Mega Charizard is going to do when it hits the field, being accessed. I think it's going to be the Fire Punch and Flame Burst moveset that's going to be locked into as well. So, I mean, maybe they just like Mega Pokemon punching each other, because that's what it seems like it's going to do. But, like my lovely co-caster said, #1 Tano fan right here. We are in Fearless Draft, so we're not going to see the same Pokemon run back again. So 1-0 to no follow. Guerrilla Tactics, however, they're not a team that's just going to sit down and take that, mate. You think we're going to see any surprises come out this time around? I know you and I love to see a good surprise. I don't think there is a Pokemon that we have not seen yet. I think, Tana, Phalanx is the only Pokemon that we have yet to witness at the UFC.
Well, I do know that Christo pulled out some phalanx in the play-along podcast that we were doing the other day, so you never know, mate. You might decide to throw that into this best of five. I mean, I don't expect any big surprises like that because I think these two teams take this very seriously, and I think they want to be known as the stronger team right now. So I expect them to go with some serious picks. The Mega Lucario, I think, will probably be let through again on the side of no follow if they do want to pick it up. I feel like people, whilst they recognize how strong that Pokemon can be, I don't think people consider it to be overpowered at the moment, and as if you don't want a team to pick it up like you do with the Empoleon or even the Pawmot to some extent with some teams. So I expect that fully to be back. I've got strong opinions about these Megas, buddy. I think that the game definitely did us in with these Megas. Could have been done in a much, much better way, but this is the state that we're in, and unfortunately Mega Lucario isn't the powerhouse that we thought it would be.
I mean, you and I are not averse to a little bit of hot taking over here. It is spooky season. It's time to get scary with game number 2 going on in. Again, for all those 5 Pokemon, you can see it at the bottom. Thank you to production for putting up these wonderful graphics and our new graphics for Halloween season. Hooper is going to be banned off. Joma did a fantastic job on the little trickster before. Empoleon also going to be banned off. So the 2 Pokemon that were very helpful to no follow being successful in that game 1 are going to be banned off alongside that Suicune. Suicune, I think, Tana, has to have the highest ban rate of any Pokemon that we've seen from the UFC so far, because as soon as you get a chance, you just don't want it. Like the crowd control in Pokemon Unite, we need to talk about it. It's a bit much. I think they need to sort it out.
Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. I mean, Suicune is the king of crowd control. The very reason you pick that Pokemon up is to have crowd control, and I think there is a little bit too much of it here in this game. I mean, I don't have an issue with the amount of crowd control that is in this game. Just give us stuff to combat it. The fact that Full Heal got nerfed yonks ago and hasn't been touched since. I will talk about this till the end of time, bro. I've had this conversation with you many times. Full Heal needs to be improved if you want to continue on the path of bringing in this much crowd control.
I agree with you. Give us another item. Give us the safety goggles. Give us something that allows you to stop being crowd controlled to all high heaven. But we got Cree picking up the big, thick boy Snorlax. Daddy Leon gonna put on their best pedal outfit and go with the Eldegoss. Yours and I's, I think, favorite supporter. I'm gonna say we've loved seeing that come back into the competitive scene. Jomardu is going to pick up something that we have not seen in quite some time in that Alcremie. Alcremie has its niches. I don't mind the decorate moveset, just dropping those little fluff balls around for their team to pick up. Klaus is going to go with the Pawmont. Chari King's going to pick up Armorage, which we know is just as good as Metagross as that all-rounder killer, my friend.
Okay, now this is another reason why No Follow is such a dangerous team, buddy, because right now Klaus is subbing for Christo, I believe, and that is a huge sub. That is a very, very strong sub on your side. So the fact where you have your subs as strong as your actual players, bro, that is a dangerous team to come up against, and Guerrilla Tactics knows it. Trying to adjust their comp here. Chari King has been very impressive on this Armorage. Last week I had doubts because I felt like the armor cannon wasn't quite as strong, and I felt like there was better ranged attackers that you could bring out. But here in Fearless Draft, in a best of 5, I witnessed Chari King doing a huge amount of damage with that armor cannon, getting some great secures, and I think a brilliant Pokemon for this player to pick up right now.
We questioned the choice of armor cannon versus fire spin, but against 2 all-rounders, I'm hoping that the fire spin is probably going to come back out again just for a little bit of extra sustain. However, the problem on the other side of No Follow is going to be that Alolan Raichu. Now, you and I have seen Chari King and Danny play that Alolan Raichu to absolutely ridiculous effect. I mean, it is what inspired me to pick up the Surfing Pikachu. I'm sorry, the Surfing Pika clone, Chocolate Pikachu, Chocolate Raichu, whatever you want to call it. But Zante, again, I mentioned before, one of the best ranged attackers that I have ever witnessed, especially casting the EU region. So often we have found our favorite players in this region, and it's so incredible to watch them go. But the sleeper pick on this draft is Snow on that Zeraora. I know Snow knows his pieces very, very well. We have loved watching the progression of Snow throughout European Pokemon Unite, and every time we see them, it is so very exciting to watch them play. Zera's still, I want to say, a bit of a niche pick because I don't think people have an answer for it, but I also think it's a bit of a technical Pokemon, so much so that it doesn't really fit into any kind of comp very, just, like specifically. I feel like it's used in very niche situations, but when it is used, it is a problem, my guy.
It is, mate. I agree with you. And it's all about getting those pulls with the discharge, isn't it? I love wild charge on Zeraora, but people never use it because discharge is just such a consistent move. And when you get those pulls, that is what it's all about. Snow is very capable of grabbing those pulls. We've seen Nachos do it at about a 90% effect rate. So that's what we expect to see from Snow here as well. Whilst they have a bit of a battle off in this top lane, buddy, around the all-rounders looking for that level 5.
Now, Snow has turned face into the basement lane as well, trying to help out here, trying to get those stacks, but also trying to get Cherry King online to that Armourouge. Of course, you're going to enter your villain arc and say that you like a wild charge, you sneaky so-and-so, with those iframes. Obviously, you don't want to be targeted. However, wild charge is a problem, but with those buffs here, we've got the Metal Claw Zacian coming through. Tibby is in a bit of a problem. They've changed their name back. No longer a #1 Tano fan. Probably because Tano said he liked discharge, but Timmy is going to put the hammer down. Those big monsters going to grab anything in their way.
Yeah, trying to see if they can find Pokémon here, but of course that charge is unstoppable, buddy, and they jump back to that T1 pad, able to get out of the arms of Tibby. Not that it's going to stop them looking for these KOs. Potato back in the lane is wary of the Swole coming for them. Marv here looking for a Citrus Berry. Cherry stops them dead in their tracks, and now they're back to the Pokemon Center as the Regidrago is about to take to the field.
We are seeing the Armor Cannon come out, so it is going to be range versus range here. It is going to be Electro Ball versus Armor Cannon. Regidrago is going to take that stroll down bottom, but these two in top lane do not care in the slightest. 30 points sitting in Tibby's pockets, just unable to stack as much as he wants. Snow's going to try and come in and take that with discharge. Does take down the Pokémon. However, I think it was Raichu that managed to secure the Regidrago. I'm still missing who did that. I think it was with the Electro Ball, as Cherry King just had to back on out. 16 to that big old donut, heading on at that 7:30 mark.
Ooh, I tell you, buddy, this is crazy in the early games. We don't have much score going out just yet. Tibby nearly goes down, uses that super slam to find a KO. Eldegoss is the one that takes it, but the damage was all there. And they get a double daddy Leon. Hey, that may be a supporter they're playing, buddy. This player has won on every role going. That is an Eldegoss that is an all-rounder in this match.
I mean, they did a smart thing there because we saw Jean Madur on that Alcremie, dangerously low health. They decided not to go for the KO on Jean Madur, but instead focus the Pokémon, which is kind of what you want because that's going to give you those levels a little bit earlier in this game. We got Regirock in this bottom path, which is exactly what the Trevenant wants to see. Buzzword going to get caught in the Thunderstorm. Ariel gets taken down by Zante, and Trevenant now has to feel the wrath of Marv.
Ooh-wee, this is what we like to see, buddy. I like this in the top side, though. Snow continuing to score those points and trying to see if they can consistently keep this lead up. No follow now has taken over it as they look to break this bottom T1 pad. Manages to grab Tibby with a good horn leech there. Did Marv, keeps them up as well with the wood hammer, but they have now managed to get their hands on Klaus. That's the power of the Pawmot, but unfortunately, it's thrown around and Cherry King finds the KO. Marv here overstaying their welcome, and I tell you what, they've given over 2 free KOs to Guerrilla Tactics there.
In a situation where it's 1v4, Marv stayed around a lot longer than they were supposed to. Here we go. John Mondo's going to try and stop some scoring, but just gets punched away by the big beefy bug. They're going to get those scores in, but now Palmer been put to sleep by a beautiful Yawn. We're not seeing too much Yawn come through, but again, we talked about crowd control. John Mondo pops the XP to run after the big beefy bug. Psycho Boom comes out from Cherry King as well to provide a little bit of extra sustain. Top side, we got 40 going in for the Zacian coming through, but 136 to 124 at only the 5:30 mark. There's been action left, right, center, up, and down on there. Sky Ruins, my guy.
Oh, this is what we expect to see from these teams, buddy. I mean, this is only game 2 right now. And again, at the mid stage, very close between them. Looking at the levels, definitely more on the side of no follow, as we do see Guerrilla Tactics continuing to try and score these points. Both objectives about to come up online, leaving the Snorlax down in the bottom lane right now. They are going to rotate down here. They want this objective over any other, exposing the top lane. If they can go in for a good push here, they could find 3 quick KOs, but instead, knowing that Marv is here, you kind of have to back up and reapproach this with not knowing where that Zacian and Palmer are.
Absolutely. It's a 5v3 in this bottom lane, but you see Raichu is just putting on the damage. The heavy slam goes in for the strikes into the yawn. A beautiful yawn. Managing to catch Marv and Zante out. Zacian takes the Regieleki. A Circular of the Registeel down bot side. Doesn't matter. It's going to go in to top lane. Does that Reggie walk, but now the score's going to rain into bottom. Zacian is here to try and help out. Gets felled by the Phantom Forest and the Powder. Thunderstorm Arrow is going to come out alongside the Sovereign Sword. The Unite moves are flying and no follow. They got their advantage into the top lane. Now they're pushing it into this basement lane.
Yeah, what a way to rotate and take your advantage back. Psychic Boom here trying to see if they can stop any scoring going in. But guess what? Klaus has shown up, buddy. Palmer in the face of it finds the double KO. The power of Zip Zap full charge spark. And they wipe out the rest of Guerrilla Tactics here against the world. They were trying to defend against no follow. But it's none other than Klaus that comes out rosy with a triple KO.
A triple KO is absolutely nuts. And Klaus is not done yet. Taking out the KO on Shari King. This Pokémon, their cuteness is overloading the side of Guerrilla Tactics, but it's finally been caught out. Charmander doing everything they can to keep Klaus alive, but finally gets felled. But all of that, my guy, it's such a brawly team on the side of Guerrilla Tactics. You really have to be careful where you step. And Zante is taking full advantage of that, popping those mines every which way they go. We're about to go into final stretch, 253 to 124. Snorlax going to try and heavy slam his way. Kree in a bit of bother, but Marv wants to chase down. But looking at that map, he saw exactly what he needed to see and decided, let's let the big thick boy run away this time around.
Yeah, that's the int isn't worth the KO in their opinion, and a wise opinion it is. Objectives about to come on up yet again. Now Guerrilla Tactics showing importance here on the top lane with 40 seconds before Groudon takes to the field. It will mean that no follow gets this bottom objective uncontested because they won't have a quick enough rotation down there with that spawning in. So the Regieleki will put pressure onto the T2 goal here for no follow. They're not going to be that concerned. Zacian's ready to jump onto it if needed, but with 20 seconds before Groudon takes to the field, buddy, I think they're going to be happy to go into that central area and put up a fight.
I mean, with the Reg Ice on the field, that increased healing is going to be very, very important, especially when you've got Jean Madu there on that Alchemy. But I think the fight might start a little bit earlier. I thought it might. We saw the discharge popped by Snow coming through. 3 seconds till we get rowdy with Grouty. As we go, they have popped in, and those mines are there placed very nicely. Just want to make sure Kree, go on, get in there, takes a bit of electric damage. And now we've got a little bit of a standoff between all these teams. We see Zacian is protecting that top side. Klaus showing no fear whatsoever as Guerrilla Tactics, mate, they're finding it a hard task to get into that Groudon pit.
Oh, buddy, what a brilliant grab by Marv. It is going to be the Snorlax. They were looking for hopefully more, and now that's how they're going to engage. Phantom Forest is going to come on out. The Fluffy Coon Supreme keeps no follow in this fight, and all of a sudden, they've exploded, buddy. Thunderstorm Aerial comes down. Klaus cleans up the rest, and it's none other than Kree to defend against the world as the rip on Groudon comes through. They're so weak as well. Charmander is looking for the KO. There goes the yawn, and it's not quick enough as no follow clean the big green beast yet again. Well, it's not green anymore, it's red. But again, no follow are going to go into this and score some points. They're already in the lead right now. And with these buffs, it's going to be uncontested.
I mean, they just have to stand on here, but no, Zante knows better than to get anywhere near that pad when scoring happens. But now they take full advantage of the fact there's a 3v1 situation. 487 to 124. No follow are showing up right now. They are a team to be reckoned with, but we knew with these players on this team, they were going to be a problem to deal with, buddy. My God, as good as Guerrilla Tactics is, they just do not have an answer for no follow right now. Again, these games have been very, very close, but they get flipped on their head once that Groudon appears.
Yeah, it's the final 2 minutes of the game that Guerrilla Tactics need to lock in for here. They don't have an answer to dealing with those team fights versus no followed. Marv with a brilliant push, managing to find Kree, and it's all about that one engage because Kree, they had so much crowd control onto them, a lot of damage raining down onto them. All they could do is pop power nap there, buddy. That's the only opportunity that they had to keep themselves up in that fight, and then it was no option. They had to go in and take that fight on the side of Guerrilla Tactics, so that's a massive Unite move that has just been used. So realistically, no follow found a way, even though they were in the lead and the ball was in the court of Guerrilla Tactics, they found a way to force their hand and get them to engage in that team fight when they were ready to pop every Unite move that they had and clean them up.
Bro, everything came off of Marv's original pick onto Kree. Forcing that Snorlax into the power nap early was detrimental because Snorlax is one of those Pokemon. You use that power nap, heal yourself back up to full health, and you've got another annoying defender that you have to deal with. But again, Zante just being able to put that damage again. We saw it in game number 1 with that Miraidon, the enhanced charge beam alongside that bright future meteor storm, also setting up those electric terrains. Such a problem to deal with, but so is Zante with, again, 113. It just seems so easy to do damage with this Alolan Raichu if you have a competent front line. But again, when you look at competent front lines, who is better right now than Marv on those defenders? It is absolutely insane right now how effective Trevenant is in this game. I want to say Trevenant and Blastoise right now have really put a showing up in the last 2 weeks to come out as those 2 top pick defenders because you can't get to the attackers. Your front line is stunned. If you've got a healer like Jean Madeur and Daddy Leon helping you out as well, it's just so sustainable that for these attackers, it's almost free reign of the map because look at Zante's damage taken was 20k when you're dealing 113. My guy, sit down. You're just showing off right now.
Yeah, that. You cannot ask for more from your ranged attacker with what Zante has just dropped there. And Marv, bro, that Trevenant, it was literally like watching Jurare on our screens. Well renowned for being one of the best Trevenants in the EU region. Marv would love to put up a fight for that name because that was a brilliant. Takes 84k of the damage, but it was all about the picks, the pushes, using the Woodhammer Hornleech. And again, on the back of that, that is how they managed to dominate that Groudon fight for the second game in a row. And now we have match point, buddy. No follow. They just need to win this next one to take this 3-0 versus Guerrilla Tactics, which nobody would have predicted.
And what do we always say, Tano, when we get to match point this early? One of the hardest things to do in esports is the reverse sweep. I feel like we need to get that on a shirt at some point and just put that there. It's so fun watching these games. Again, the whole point of the UFC right now is to highlight individual players. And this is a game in which all of these players have been highlighted. They've been on that world stage. They've been on the international stage. They've fought it out before. We've seen them consistently throughout these tournaments. But Marv also healed 44k on his own. That was almost as much as Daddy Leon completed, because I think they did 48k on that Eldegoss. But, like, again, just the incredible Horn Leeches. And Horn Leech is a problem to deal with. I know they went with that Woodhammer moveset right now. I know with the big root, we have seen Curse coming back into gameplay, doing the damage, especially with that 80k damage that Marv took. On top of that, that Curse Hornleech with that big root is a problem that I've seen being used by a number of people, especially in ranked right now. Even in online spaces, big root is being used to great effect. But again, who needs it when you've got Hornleeches that are hitting like that?
Well, what's fascinating, buddy, is that Marv did actually have Big Root on during that game. So you're right, though. The curse.
I must have missed it.
Works so
I must have missed it.
Nah, you saw it, bro. It was in your brain. That's why we're talking about it. You're absolutely right, though. The curse is so effective with it, but also with the combo that Marv is just using. It just shows the versatility of that new held item, and it just adds to what we were saying earlier, buddy, on how exciting it is to have a new held item like that in the game that does seem to be putting up some good effect here as we see no follow end out this game. So how do you respond now then, Lobo? Because Guerrilla Tactics, they have to win this game. They have to win every game here on out if they want to take this victory. But you definitely don't want to be going down at the very least with a 3-0 defeat.
I mean, we're at game 3. We're fearless draft, so a lot of Pokemon are off the table. So now if you're Guerrilla Tactics, there is an onus on here, obviously, that you must win, but it's not based on what the opponents can do. They've got 10 Pokemon completely off the chopping block. Both have 10 Pokemon off the chopping block, so you're not going to see those really oppressive range attackers that we have seen come out from Zante before. We had the Miraidon and then the Raichu. I do want to talk about Raichu once again, how it's not higher tier for the amount of effect that Pokemon can actually do coming through. But right now, we have to see what works. We've got Urshifu that was banned off. We've got a whole host of still very powerful Pokemon. We've got the evolutions have not been seen. We have not seen a Leafeon, and we know that Snow doesn't need an excuse to bring out that Leafeon. But this, once again, Guerrilla Tactics. I've actually decided to swap it around. They're going to be on the purple side. No Follow going to be on your orange side. Eldegoss, Buzzwole, Zacian, and Empoleon being banned off, and Charikin's going to pick up that Mew straight away before Zante can even get a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely no surprise that they continue to ban out this Empoleon, buddy. They will do that until the end of this set, but it does mean Suicune gets brought onto Faya Sky Ruins, and it's Mar that's going to pick it on up. I know it may have that all-rounder background, but it is very much a defender support. That's why we have the EXP share on it, and it is all about the crowd control, as we've mentioned.
I mean, again, talking about crowd control, Potato is one that is not going to be stunned by anything once it hits that level 11, which, if you're a Lucario playing at this level, you should be hitting level 11. Let's be honest. If us casters can be a little bit harsh on you, if you're not hitting level 11, what are you doing? Daddy Leon is going to pick up the big egg-looking thing. I don't know where my words just went there, but Blissey going to help out with a lot of that crowd stun. Kree, again, is going to pick up Lapras. Now, I've loved seeing Lapras come through more and more, especially in this. And you say words now, because I don't like what I've seen on my screen.
Listen, mate, did we not say that these would be very serious games? If you only need to win one more game to take this set, you are going to pull out Zoroark Comfey. This is the EU region. You want to strike fear into your opponent, and that is what No Follow are going to do with Klaus, of all players, on the Zoroark. That is dangerous. So Guerrilla Tactics are trying to at least have a combo to it. I like Kree again on the Lapras. I'm liking Snow on the Serena, and Tibby pulls out the ordinary Lucario here, trying to be a direct answer to Klaus being on that Zoroark.
I mean, Spider-Man meme, where they're looking at each other with the Lucarios. Here we go. Those items not looking too bad. However, Lucario is locked in to that Mega Lucario Knight. Say that 5 times over. Zante has actually gone over to the Suicune. Potato is going to pick up that tried and trusted Garchomp. I have not seen a person play Garchomp in a competitive sense as much as I have seen Potato play that Pokemon. Snow is gonna pick up the Queen. Of course, she's gonna make them bend the knee. And Klaus and that Serena are gonna have some very interesting 1v1s, but Charikin gonna try and support on that Mew. I like these teams. It's a nice way to go. Snow loves their Serena. We have seen them pop off in many instances on that Serena. Queen Lysandre completely able to take out a Pokemon, even if they have a Comfey attached to it. They will kick it right off your face. But I'm curious to see what moveset Snow goes for. Stomp is quite good, as is a Triple Axel. But again, either of these movesets are going to be comfortable. The only problem is that Zante is on a Suicune. He was on damaging range attackers before. Now they are on a Pokemon that is just not going to allow you to move right now. So let's see how Guerrilla Tactics deal with it. Match point, buddy, for No Follow. Can Guerrilla Tactics stay in this one?
It is a very difficult game for Guerrilla Tactics, but they're a fantastic team, so if anyone can do it, it is going to be them. Potato here, plenty of heals coming on through there, finds the first KO of the game, taking down Tibby. That is a brilliant effort thanks to the power of the focus band. Daddy Leon here is going to have to defend and try to secure that, manages to take it away. Kumfei's going to get a stack. Right now, no follow are on top.
The aggressive nature of Potato, even on a little gibble, is incredible to see. Suicune is just trying to back anybody off. As we've got Lucario now going to go into that whirlpool, but we've got Klaus here. Got the sleep? Was sleep or stun or something happened to that Lapras that Klaus allowed it to just come in and slash their way through. We've got Snow going into the opposite lane. These Altarias have not even spawned, and these central laners are making an impact.
Oh, wow. I mean, Guerrilla Tactics, they were really hoping that they could at least get something going in the early game. I mean, they will have that Serena on later, but right now, it's all about what Zorak can do, and you've really got to try and limit the snowballing. That is a brilliant KO from Charikin, and a great response from Guerrilla Tactics to stop that gank coming on through, at least limiting no follow on that Sigir with Zorak.
Zorak is only countered by, I want to say, Lucario in terms of how effective its gank is. Oh my god! The Dragon Rush decided to come in from Potato, but was protected by a beautiful light screen coming through. Oh my days. That was incredible, just protecting their all-rounder like their life depended on it, which actually it did. 8 minutes on the clock. Reggie Drago is gonna show face. Of course, it's the Safeguard Blissey. What else are you going to play? I'm sorry, Tibby. Are you playing E-Speed, my guy? E-Speed Lucario up against a Klaus on a Comfey Zorak combination. That's going to be an interesting battle.
Gotta try and get out of the way of those combos, but if you can disrupt that combo set and not allow them to get that boosted off by using the E-Speed to get out of the way, that might work for you, and I like that approach, but it's the fact that this Lapras isn't going to be easy to get away from. The boosteds are going to come on through, as we do see Kree trying to dive away from this Zorak. It doesn't get the boosted off. Klaus is just looking for the KO now instead. Snowthroat did go down, not allowing them to get out of there. Very weak though is Snow. They're going to back on up, but no follow. They've pretty much got full control of every area for Sky Ruins right now.
They're doing very well, and it was a very smart tactic by Lapras to actually stun the Zorak mid-combo, which allowed it to be taken down. Potato's just going to have to run away from Lucario, unfortunately. Two of Cynthia's Pokemon battling out in the top lane. That's not what our Sinnoh League champion wants to see. We want team unity here. Electro Ball's going to find Marv in that bush. They're just going to stay there as Lucario with that power-up punch. The Suicune is going to make sure that nobody can come near this Reg Ice, which I'm going to say Guerrilla Tactics, they abandoned that Reg Ice very quickly. But here, Lapras is here, Kree is here to try and defend. That Whirlpool's not going to be enough to stop Klaus from scoring, taking a commanding lead. 113 to 14. I felt almost bad saying 14 in that one, Tana, but Regieleki going to walk into this top pad.
Yeah, we see the evolution to the Garchomp, and Livid Outrage comes out from the get-go here as they look to find Snow. Not able to, does let that Lecky go in. You can bet Snow is going to try and go and score that 40, but right now it's none other than Klaus that is decimating the backline of Guerrilla Tactics here, and they only have Snow on the pad, trying to get more points in. Queenly Ascendancy is going to go on up. Potato manages to find the KO, and I don't know how Guerrilla Tactics are going to bounce back from the absolute devastating aggression no follow showing here. Look, Klaus still going back in. When you have that comfy collar on you, Lobo, you have the feeling of being a god with the power of Zorak.
I mean, especially when you know this Pokemon as well as these two do, but Zorak is dangerously low here. Mew searching for it with the Electro Ball is Cherry King, has to watch out, gets the coaching out into the Nightfall Days, taking down the Lucario, and Klaus decides that he wants to end this one early. Let's go 3-0, done and dusted, move on, as No Forest still going to reign with the Aura Cannon coming out from the Mega Lucario.
Ooh, 40 going in that bottom T2 as well. That's 258 points to 94 right now. The only saving grace might be if No Follow get a little bit too confident here, but Endless Ice Spice with the Nightfall Days, and there's the Fanciful Fields. Buddy, No Follow, every time they're caught out, the Unite moves are utilized, and they still manage to get out of there with a couple of KOs without giving up much experience.
And have you noticed it's completely on the back of the tireless work of Zante, stunning anything that comes near hear them. The livid outrage going to come out from the guard shot. The close combat's going to try and do something. Zante was heading on out of the central area, but decided to go back on in. Potato has stunned up everybody. They have Bliss assistance on it to the Queen, but I don't think it's going to be enough because Klaus is back with the Nightfall Days, taking them out. They're just going to keep jumping. E-Speed, Lucario, everybody is so low, but gets stunned by Zante. Oh my days. No follow, making sure that Guerrilla Tactics have no way to follow them back into this game.
Whew, I tell you what, Guerrilla Tactics, they just need to get some more experience here, buddy. They may be looking for a good KO if they can find one, but look at the effort coming out from Klaus here. Mythical Mirage is going to be used. If they can find this, that would be huge, but no! The dashes, they're too quick. They're not on cooldown long enough, and they can escape, and now no follow. Look like they're going to get both objectives on the field here. Klaus in the middle of it manages to find a KO. They do get their revenge, though. That is huge for Timmy. They need a little bit more. Aura Cannon's going to come on through. Finally level 12 online for Guerrilla Tactics, but they're going to need more if they want to take this final fight in the next minute and a half, and that Red Jalecki is already approaching the T2 here. Potato is ready to dive on in with a Livid Outrage if needed, but that's going to walk in.
That's just walked in, and that score lead is going to get even higher. This could even get to a 500-point lead, 400-point lead already, but it's but there's the Livid Outrage is going to come out, and Snow is the target of it. Just smoothing and grooving is this comp from the side of No Follow. The amount of movement that they have on across this team is incredible, my guy. John Mardu is doing their best to get on and off that Comfey, but these attackers are wanting to go and big boosted to finish off that combo to take down a Mew, but Lucario is looking to try and do a 1v1 situation with Cut. That is a level 14 Zoroark. Can it find the KO? Snow wants it. It's going to use the illusion. That is criminal coming out from Klaus.
I gotta say, how No Follow have been able to pull out a comp like this in the third game of the Fearless Draft is absolutely ridiculous, mate. Look at the Pokemon that they have. You've got Zoroark Comfey, you've got Suicune, and the Mega Lucario on the field. That is a ridiculous comp to have in a third game here in a Fearless Draft. And it's just so difficult to combat if you're on the side of Guerrilla Tactics.
I agree with you 100%. We're deep into final stretch territory. Snow has decided they wanted to go for Zante, but you thought better of it because Zante has the ability to freeze 4 seconds until Groudon decides to spawn. Klaus is going for a little bit of a cheeky this time around. Solar Beam's going to come through, but Snow not going to show any kind of fear. 73 is going to go into that home pad, taking this to a 500-point game. Guerrilla Tactics have no choice. They have to look for the KOs, and they have to take this Groudon.
That they do get a 10-point going on in there. We do see that Lapras Express coming through, not able to connect just yet, and now they're having to deal with Potato in their face. There's the Nightfall Days used, not managing to find any KOs. Same with the Comfey Unite move. If they can find something here, that would be the difference, but no, Zante shuts it down in an instant with the endless Ice Spikes, and now Guerrilla Tactics have lost their huge carry on the side of Snow. Lapras is no longer there to take all that damage. Goodbye to Chari King. Now you don't have any range, and Guerrilla Tactics are on the back foot like they've been for most of this game. This is not how I expected Game 3 to go at all, Lobo. In the first two games, it was very close between them until we hit this Groudon. No follow. They're just playing with their food here.
Tibby tried there to try and take down Zante. I think if you take down Zante, you lose a lot of that crowd control. But Zante's been protected quite well. Lapras doing whatever they can, but that Comfey Zoroark just has the ability to stay in there. There's the Surf coming out from you, trying to stall down. Jean Mardu has come off of Klaus, but it does not matter. They've got a number of other carries that they can go in. Snow gets felled one more time. Mew just trying to survive anything they can do. They can't even get back into that ground pit, and No Follow have finally decided to turn the tables with TV the only one left alive. 20 seconds to go. This Groudon, it's all but said and done, my friend.
I think if we ask Guerrilla Tactics here, I think their main issue will be that Suicune. I think that's probably what they're going to say has been the issue here, but it's Zante. And, you know, you do have a Zoroark Comfey. Nobody likes going up against a Zoroark Comfey. It's a ridiculous combo. Everybody hates to see it, but when you're trying to win a set, teams play it. I've seen everybody do so here in this region, but it's the fact that Zante is there on the Suicune and you can't even get away from Zante before Klaus pounces on you. So I think that's probably what Guerrilla Tactics are going to consider probably should have been the ban. I don't think they were expecting this kind of comp to come into game 3, mate.
No, it's a very, very it's a disgusting comp. There's no other word for it, my guy. It's just disgusting. 14 KOs coming out for the side of Class, 10 KOs coming out for the side of Marv. Unfortunately, for the first time, we are seeing a donut from the side of Snow, which just shows how much that they were completely shut down by that Zante. We saw Tibby trying to go with the E-speed into this one, which I thought was a smart decision. In all honesty, even with something like Zante on the field to stun you out, Tibby was doing very, very well, but the bulk combined with the sustain coming out from the side of No Follow alongside Jean Madu, which healed 67. My guy, 67k. And usually we see a Comfey Zora combination. Your Comfey is only staying on that Zora, but Jean Madu was popping off. They were absorbing damage. They were doing what they needed to do. They got their heals back. They got their flower stacks back, and they managed to get back onto whoever needed the healing the most. That Mega Lucario is a problem to deal with. However, I didn't see too much of an issue that time around. It just came down to the survivability that these players have, the instinct on these Pokemon with that power up punch to get in and out, and that was a beautiful, beautiful light screen. I think clip that, send it away. That is not going to be repeated.
What this does confirm, though, right now, mate, is that No Follow still have 100% record here in the Unite Fight Club, mate. They played last week. They won 3-0 versus Los Caracados. They've played here against Guerrilla Tactics, and they've won 3-0. They have 100% record within the Unite Fight Club, and they have already made a statement to be the team to beat here in this club, and I cannot wait to see which team would eventually overcome them, because after seeing that, I thought Guerrilla Tactics would be able to do it. I thought they were discovering how to get on top of them throughout the game. It was just that final 2 minutes, Lobo, when you hit that Groudon fight, that they hadn't worked out how to deal with No Follow. A brilliant effort from Marv, completely swapped that second game so that they had control anyway. So it felt like this was going to be the one that they could work it out until you saw that comp locked in.
I just want to say, even the safeguard and the Bliss Assistance that we saw right there, as soon as the Bliss Assistance went on, Jean Madu hit a beautiful grass knot to stun Snow out, and then Zante followed up with the Whirlpool. I mean, at some point, you're just sitting there unable to press buttons, and I've been in that situation like, game, I'd like to move. I'd like to move. No, I'm back to Nurse Joy this time around. So, again, what a fantastic, and I get, sorry, I'm getting a little bit caught up on my words here, but the score of 3-0, I want to make it very clear. 3-0ing does not tell the entire story of any of these games. They were very, very close games all the way up until Groudon spawn, and then No Follow just had a really, really good Groudon fight. All the games up until this game 3 taking into account that absurd comp that No Follow were able to bring out that time around. I mean, Guerrilla Tactics were in it. They were one, two little pickoffs away from turning the tides in any of those Groudon fights. So I just want to make that very, very clear that just because you see a team get 3-0'd, which we have seen happen at the UFC, it does not tell the entire story of a game. Unfortunately, that is what people are going to see on paper, but we see the entire games, and it's been absolutely fantastic to watch how close these games have been. But before we go and take a break, buddy, I want to give me your 2 players of the tournament from either team.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's going to be tough, buddy. I feel like over on the side of Chari King, I think is going to be my MVP over on the side of Guerrilla Tactics, mate, for their team. I feel like consistent range damage coming through. They had a difficult, set of games anyway. Although I really want to give it to Kree as well because they were so good on the defender. But then Danny Leon was so good on support. Okay,
but I'm gonna force you into this. One
that's fair,
best players from either team. Come on.
I'm going to stick with Chari King because I think in this meta, with this much crowd control, this strong defenders, as well as great speedsters with this new experience coming in, I think ranged attacker is very difficult to play. So I'm going to give it to Chari King over on the side of Guerrilla Tactics. Over on the side of No Follow, I have to give it to Zante. I think Zante was brilliant. And the fact that, of course, ranged attacker absolutely devastated Guerrilla Tactics, but also being there on the defender on the Suicune. brilliant effort, off roll to say in that final game, mate.
I mean, I love putting Tana on the spot here, but I'm going to give him a chance to catch a break as he goes and grabs some water and a snack, as I will also do as well, as you should also do as well, because we've got MTZ going up against, I believe, from what I've been told, is just a random 5 players from the EU region that we have assembled. They are called, I believe, the Free Agents is what we might go with, Tano, but that is going to be very interesting. MTZ Esports, also a team that we have been very, very fond of over here at the UFC. But don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Grab a drink, grab a snack. We will be right back. See you guys very soon.
Welcome back, everybody. We have an exhibition match for you now. It's MTZ Esports taking on Church of Eos. And this is going to be an interesting one because there's a couple of no-follow players on this team, Lobo.
I mean, I haven't been to church in some time, but I'm damn well ready to put my hands together and pray for a game 3 situation because we are only doing a best of 3. However, we are still following the fearless draft rules. MTZ Esports have actually, they've been nice to us. They've gone, you know what? We'll play anyway. Find us an opponent. Do what you got to do. Get us on the map. Get us on the broadcast. We want to play, and I love it from these players, my friend. They are just ready to play because, like I said, the official season is just around the corner. The new format's coming through. It's going to be exciting, and these teams are looking. They're ready. They want to be prepared to go all out coming through into this next season.
What would be crazy, mate, is we do end up with a quick 2-0 victory here for whichever side takes it, and then we have the quickest Unite Fight Club we've ever had since we started it, mate, and we actually get to bed at a reasonable time. That would be pretty ridiculous, but here we go. It's match 1, MTZ Esports versus Church of Eos. Let's see what the bans are going to be.
What do you mean get to bed early, my guy? I have been up for 3 hours already. You are the one that gets to go to sleep. I have to go to work after this. Lucario is not going to be put to work because it's going to be put into the ban jail. Empoleon is going to be put into the ban jail as well, alongside Suicune and Blissey. Again, after what we've witnessed, the absolute criminal activity coming out from Zate in that previous game, I can definitely understand why they just don't want to go up against it. Amara, we are bigger fans of Amara here at the UFC, but Gaddy's going to take over that first spot with the trickster himself. Hoopa.
I like this. Okay, Gaddy taking the Hooper straight from the get-go. Gamma Gunner is going to get access to the Snorlax. Of course, there is also the Trevenant or the Crustle we see a lot of, but when you have access to a Snorlax, Lobo, that is the Pokemon you're going to pick up. Hoping MTZ doesn't have a Poke Flute. Kali is going to lock in the Mew here for Church of Eos as well, and that is a very early place to pick up a Mew.
I agree with you. That is a very early place. We still haven't locked in their supporter. MC Esports could do something here as well as try and take away a pick from the side of a Church of Eos. However, MD are going to go for the Espeon. First time we're going to see Mamoswine and Espeon as well so early on, which is crazy to say considering we didn't see either of those Pokemon in the previous best of 5. Dalim going to lock in possibly the Eldegoss and Cristo, no. You can't do this to Amara. We know Amara is our resident EU Tinkaton player. But Cristo has said, no. It's my turn to put the hammer down.
Yeah, I like this, buddy. Bring out the Tinkerton, have a little bit of fun with it whilst you've got your team together to take on MTZ Esports. Aru locking in the Mamoswine here. Knight is going to pull out the Galarian, Rapidash, and Amara is going to go onto the Gyarados. We don't ever see Gyarados on Fire Sky Ruins anymore, but it's some slight adjustments that we saw to it. But it does struggle in these early stages, especially against teams that can punish it. And if Marcus goes for this Leafeon, that is not an easy game that Amara will have for the first few minutes.
I mean, yes, I agree. But however, the experience across the entire board, Tano, on Thea Skyroads has been a lot more favorable to Pokemon like Magikarp. That has a beautiful bit of artwork as well that Amara is rocking on the useless fish, but useless not for very long, because as long as they can climb that waterfall and become the majestic, or I want to say majestic, I want to say angry, the angry fish, the angry water dragon. But this is a nice little comp coming outside from the Church of Eos. Now let's remember that these guys have come together at last minute to put together this exhibition match. So we're very excited. Eldegoss, a problem that Cristo is lucky to have. It's so good in that top lane against your all-rounders. Mew, probably one of the best range attackers and has been for a long time. It did fall off for a little bit, but it is back currently. I think MTZ have got a good chance here, my guy, with Galarian Rapidash doing exactly what Dodrios do, but putting just about as much damage. And Haru, we know what kind of defender they are up at. They are very good on that Mamoswine, but Galnic Gunner, no slouch in their own, because they are probably also tying up as those top 5 defenders in that EU region. Just on that Snorlax, going to be a big problem to deal with.
I love how Relly's put their name as Ich bin Relly. So at least we know they are Relly. It's just going to be a good one, mate. I can't wait to see where this one takes out. MDR on that Espeon is interesting. Of course, you do have access to that side shock if that's what you want to go for. I think stored power would also give you some good access here because you want to stay out of range of Christo. We know how Tinkerton works, buddy, and they are happy to get those hits on you as much as they possibly can to get that big hammer on the field.
Now, this is once again the first time we're seeing Leafeon, which is crazy. I do want to see them go in early, get that singular buff, and head to that top side. Stop Amara, get online, because we know how good they are. The coaching coming out from Neo alongside the Electro was putting big damage early on with the big thick wall that is the Snorlax. I believe Hooper also took a red buff. We will see that momentarily. However, they were in there to stop any kind of things going through. Magikarp is clear online. That effort gauge is nice and full as Magikarp was the one that picked up the KO on Christo, but paid for it, courtesy of the Eldegoss. Just a little bit more effort, and that could be a 9-minute Magikarp on the board.
Yeah, that's dangerous, buddy. Oh, Gyarados on the field. The Water Dragon ready to go on in. Now Amara is going to be able to cause a lot of damage. That is a massive power spike here in Pokemon Unite. Going to go in with the Waterfall as well, using the bounce. Aquatel, sorry. And now they do cause a lot of damage. What a power spike they have, Lobo.
Aquatail is an interesting choice here, Tana. It's not a move that we see played, as we see Swinub is just going to try and score 10 in the face, which is exactly what they can do. Bounce alongside that Aquatail is a great hit. Just look at the range damage coming out from the side of Amara. Bounces on in, takes out Eldegoss, and here Christo has a problem that he has to deal with in the side of Amara. That damage is going on. Amara stuck around too long, and Gyarados gets sent back to Nurse Joy.
What you got to remember, though, buddy, is that MTZ Esports is technically still a new team. They've only had a couple of weeks here in the Unite Fight Club, as we're only a couple of weeks in. And yeah, some of them do have experience in Pokemon Unite Esports. A lot of them don't. So this is pretty impressive from them going up against these players on the search of Church of Eos. You know these players. We've all seen them in the EU region in many different teams. And they've been dominant in nearly every team they take part of. So I'm very much enjoying this so far. Haru with a brilliant Ice Fang manages to get that onto Snorlax, pull them out of the approach. They do get a stack. That's a good KO for MDR.
I mean, they're looking for the Eldegoss once again and gets taken down for the efforts. The Hooper is going to put the hole up, send everybody back, keep them replenished. But MTZ Esports doing very well in the early stages of this game. Amara just looks like they want to play with the Gyarados in that top side. Emerald two-step comes out on to the Rapidash. Leafbill's going to try and chase and just pick up the KO. Nice Ice Fang to isolate. Oh my god, I can't say them. I can't see their name again, but a nice KO coming out from the side of Leafeon. The side shots are hitting their mark as now Church of Eos turn their attention to the Regirock in the basement side.
Good beam's going to come on through from Kali there. They're going to lock that one in, trying to see if they can get some more damage onto MTZ here. May have found Haru, but they get through the big shield. Christo just wants to hit him on up with this big hammer. But right now, Church of Eos are going to have to back on up back to their area as we do see the approach from Marcus to get the rest of that central area. A good rip onto the Regieleki comes out from Amara. They're uncontested in that top goal. In the bottom, though, it's going to be a brawl until the end of time. Knight looking to escape, but Galna going to get some with one big swipe. Christo about to go down, but it is going to be a huge save coming in from Relly that keeps them on the field.
There wasn't enough damage there to take down Christo on that Tinker turn, but there's the nice little jack to fly past the block coming through. The side shock is just going to go and try and do a little bit of damage. 106 to MTZ Esports. Amara has been taking their time in that top path. They've seen the Leafeon going for a 4. The bounce is going to come in, saving their goal from coming to getting 40 points less. That is good, I want to say, clock management and point management coming out from the side of MTZ Esports.
So I had a conversation with Gatlu not too long ago, buddy, and he mentioned we're seeing more of this Aquitail mainly because people want to go for it using the secure. They use it as a secure move, and it's pretty good against the all-rounders as well. So I like this approach from Amara. It means that they are locked in for that, and they can just do exactly this. Drop that good amount of range damage and then bounce on into it with it ready to go yet again. Look at that. They find one secure, bounce back onto the opposite, and now they want to hunt them down with the Dragon Current. Doesn't find it, but they're going to go for the buffs instead. Having their vision on Kali here, and what a brilliant pincer movement with Hayuri as well. MTZ Esports are very impressive here.
They are very impressive today. I have to 100% agree with you, Tano. The pincer movement to know where your teammates are is a key factor in Pokemon Unite. There's the wall going up, causing Haru to have to go the other way. Leafeon has found their target. Hooper's going to try and get them out, but the Ice Fang is keeping that Mamoswine nice and sustained against Leafeon. Still very, very strong, unfortunately, but damn. Again, turning their attention to another Regirock in the bottom side. Can Amara secure this one? They can. Christo tried to put the hammer down. The hammer missed completely and bunked absolutely nobody. But now Church of Eos want to push for this bottom side, this basement side. Well, Haru is here, so is Amara.
Ooh, Amara's going to be left to defend this pad by themselves. The big block's going to come on through. Bounce isn't quite off that cooldown yet, buddy, and a good block is going to mean that they can at least get a couple of points in, but look at the Aquitail slicing through the opponents of Church of Eos, and they do manage to get a huge amount of damage onto Christo. We are going to see them try to approach it on the side of Knight. They do find the KO onto the Tinkerton. MDR takes down the Snorlax. MTZ Esports bouncing back, getting the KOs, getting the points in as they look for more here and give themselves a consistent lead with that Regieleki needing to be defended.
I agree with you, mate. But what I wanted to notice, just on the Aquitail side, when you mentioned that conversation with Gatlu, the piercing damage that Aquitail does, because it went through two members to stop Christo trying to secure that, it does deal a lot of damage. Maybe it's something I'm going to have to look at picking up myself. I love this ranged attack into the bounce, go in afterwards there. Snorlax is going to try, Galnagona is going to try and get a little stack in here, break that tier 1 on the basement side. MTC Esports playing like a completely, I want to say different team, but they have put up performances like this completely. However, we have seen them falter at the ground on pit, mostly due to lack of experience, but there is no experience needed to use that Emerald two-step because it is just going to take you down. Christo trying to put the hammer down with Tinkerton's Unite move, but now Amara caught between a rock and a Snorlax.
Yeah, but the bounce is going to get them out of that situation, buddy, and Christo knows as soon as they're on the end of the tail of that Gyarados, they are going to be sent straight back to Nurse Joy. A brilliant effort from MTZ here to try to limit what Christo can do coming into this late game. Tinkerton is one of those Pokemon that as soon as you let it get those stacks in the early game, it becomes a late game monster. But I've liked what I've seen from MTZ to try and limit Christo in these moments, and I gotta say, the Aquitail, buddy, this is why we love being casters in this game, because we play this game ourselves and we get so much inspiration from what these players show us.
Bro, I cannot agree with you more. I'm agreeing with you all the time. Say something that I can disagree with, would you? But I agree with you. Every time we watch this game, we watch these players play, we watch the movesets come out, I'm just thinking, put a big root on that Tinkerton. It ain't gonna stop. But that Regieleki has walked in. Amara has gone for it. They do have access to that Dragon Current to stop getting caught out here, but the team fight has taken place in the top side. Christo does get stunned up with the Psychic Solar, but Mew takes down MDR, and Amara is still in that top side. They've turned their attention, have Church of Eos to this Groudon right now. Has Amara? Oh, Amara's just decided to retreat. My bad. I thought there was a little bit of a connection issue, but who's going to get the secure? Leafeon put down the Razor Leaves. Eldegoss is going to try and go down. Who's going to secure it? It is going to be Church of Eos with none other than the Leafeon. My goodness, Church of Eos was struggling in that match, my guy, but they managed to pull it out that time.
I mean, this is the beauty of Unite Fight Club, buddy. And you called it halfway through. You mentioned MTZ Esports has been very impressive here, but multiple times we have seen them falter at the ground on fight. It's that final objective where they struggle. And we saw it here again. They didn't have quite the approach for handling that coming in straight away. And a brilliant grab by Cristo as well as Callie on the mute and finally get those double KOs. And then all of a sudden, MTZ Esports are on the back foot. Amara has to go back to get back into the ground on pit, and by the time that happens, they've managed to find the secure. We have 35 seconds left, looking for some ground on buffs on the side of MTZ Esports. They only need to get themselves a hundo burger or less in at the moment, buddy, but it's all about having to defend that T2 pad for Church of Eos.
I agree with you. Look, Rapidash has got that buff, as does Hooper. Hooper probably not that person you want with the buff. Maybe it is that Gyarados that you want with the buff. The Aquatel's going to come in. Mew's going to surf them on out. Psychic Solero will come out one more time. But there's a 2 KO streak coming out from the side of Leafeon. That is the last person you want to have those Groudon buffs heading on in. It was a nice push. It was a nice attempt. But again, defending as a team with those Groudon buffs, you've got to make sure that the person on your team that gets those Groudon buffs are the Pokemon that you needed to have. Hooper there probably didn't need those Groudon buffs. It would have been Amara that you wanted to have on it. Unfortunately, that's something it's very, very hard to plan who gets those buffs when taking those KOs. But like I said, MTZ Esports putting up a great showing. They're going to get better and better every single time they play. Just that Groudon fight went a little bit, I want to say, sideways. Yes, the Regieleki walked in. Amara went for the dunk in the top side. Marcus went and distracted that Gyarados. Gyarados was a linchpin in that entire fight. You take that Gyarados away, you take away a lot of the damage that MTZ Esports had to play out. So there's mind games coming through, as you can see even in the stats. Amara doing 37% of the team's damage. Actually, it's something that we have been seeing a lot with MTZ Esports, where it is a almost full support Amara comp that usually comes out, which is very, very fun to see. Had Amara been at that Groudon fight a little bit earlier and been able to help out or taking out the Leafeon, because we did see Marcus come back and be very, very key at that Groudon fight, things should change. But this is just going to come with more and more experience when they continue to play this game.
Yeah, 100%, buddy. And watching these VODs and seeing how you approach the Groudon fight are absolutely immeasurable for these kind of teams. It's just such a shame that coming back into that final push there was a Leafeon with Emerald two-step. Marcus just goes on in, and it's like an atom bomb going off. They find 2 KOs instantly with that, and all of a sudden, there's no way you're going to win that fight, buddy. You need your entire team for that push. You didn't have all of the Groudon buffs, so it was a good response coming out from Church of Eos here, but they were on the back foot for a lot of this game, and I don't think they were expecting to be so. Again, every single time you think, oh my God, look at the comp they're coming up against. Oh my God, they've got Tinkerton on the field. Leafeon's there. They're going to be so dominant. But guess what? MTZ don't care. They've got Haru with some brilliant Ice Fangs coming out. Knight did nothing but harass them left, right, and center. MDR didn't miss those psych shots, buddy. They were on point. Gaddy with some brilliant Hooper portals coming out as well. And I mean, we don't need to say anything more about Amara. We can glaze them up until the end of time, bro. That was an impressive showing from that team.
I just want to say, I think that's going to be the quickest Gyarados evolution that we've seen here at the Unite Fight Club, or even on any Engage broadcast that we've done. That Gyarados evolution happened at the 9-minute mark, but we saw the evolution on the minimap come through at the 8-minute 58-second mark. That has to be one of the quickest Gyarados evolutions, because they picked up the KO on Cristo with that flash, but then were taken down by the Eldegoss. If Eldegoss wasn't there, Amara could have gone on a rampage, having not had to been reset so early on. But again, you can be as good as you can be for 8 minutes. That was what we used to say with Rayquaza, but now you have to be great across those 10 minutes, because if you're behind at Groudon, it is very, very hard to make up that difference coming into that 2-minute mark. So there's changes are coming at their Sky Ruins, and majority of people were loving it right now. But game 1's going to go to the Church of Eos. They're sitting at match point. Let's see if MTZ Esports can take it away. Prove that you don't have to be a church goer to be a good person. We want that game 3. Let's see it come through.
I'm only gutted that we're not going to see more of that Aquatel Gyarados. That was very enjoyable to watch, buddy. But it is Fearless Draft, despite it being the best of 3. So they won't have access to that again. And to be honest, I quite enjoyed Christo's Tinkerton. It was difficult because they definitely had a way to answer to it. And I think Aquatel was a part of that, as well as some brilliant Ice Fangs coming out from Haru. But let's see what they adjust to, because Church of Eos are going to be picking up. They've got access to so many Pokemon. Look at the players on their team, buddy. They're a very comfortable team. So MTZ are going to have to respond to them again. And if they can counter pick the way that they just did, we might be able to see this go to a game 3.
I mean, I want to see a game 3, but we're not going to wait any longer. I was going to talk to you about Mega Evolutions. I know you and I are very, very critical of the way that Mega Evolutions are done right now. Sometimes we thought it was unnecessary. Sometimes it's, maybe it is what it is. But them being overpowered is not new. It's kind of something that we expected. So I don't know, my guy, but another Pokemon that I want to talk to you about is Empoleon getting banned up alongside Hooper, Blissey, and Snorlax. What do you make of the Emperor Penguin, my guy?
Other than yet again a ridiculous Unite Move name, I kind of like it, buddy. I mean, I'm not. I am one of these Pokemon players that is really not that bothered about starters. I'm not that bothered about it. But hey, more that we have in Pokemon Unite, fine, people are going to be happy. I'm more for these, other Pokemon. Dhelmise, cannot wait to see in this game. Give me some Luxray, give me some Cubone, give me some Pidgeot, you know what I mean? But I like this one. I think Empoleon is very strong. I kind of like how it has a little playstyle where you've got, the brawling you expect from an all-rounder, but also a little bit of range damage coming out, buddy. Let's throw a little bit of that in there. Like how we have those supports that are very good at crowd control and not typically healing. I want to see a little bit more of that in different kinds of roles. So I kind of like that ranged attack that Empoleon has.
I agree with you. And Empoleon is a very fun Pokemon to play. I think its healing is still a little bit busted. However, we are seeing it be dealt with in good succession, especially in these 5 stacks, these competitive 5 stacks. Gaddy is going to bring out Suicune, which is going to be let out of the ban jail. Hooper's going to go into the ban jail in its place. MTZ Esports does not want to deal with this. And I don't know what Church of Eos are doing. They have decided to go with the double Lucario coming out to play alongside that Mamoswine. Gonna, if they can find their picks, I mean, MTZ Esports might just be riddled with black and blue getting punched with those close combats.
Yeah, I like this. You're going to get the double Lucario, mate. I don't think, even though Mega Lucario's been out a while, this is the first time I've seen it. I've seen people posting pictures and stuff. This is ridiculous from Church of Eos. And, I mean, you could even have that E-Speed on Kali and Christo obviously having to go for that moveset and basically have both controls. I mean, you do have Gaddy on the Suicune, so I don't think Kali will do that, but this is absolutely ridiculous. MTZ Esports, though, they have built up a comp and a half. Haru is going to pull out the Gardevoir here. We've already talked about how strong Gardevoir is, especially with that Unite move, buddy, but you gotta make sure you hit it. The last thing you want to see is a pavement Unite move from MDR.
I agree with you 100%, but we know what the first book of the Church of Eos is going to be. It is the Book of Lucario, and I'm so excited to see it. There is a saying, praise to Bidoof, Giratina, and Darkrai, the one of the heavens, the one of the normal, and the one of the darkness. Say what you will, say it with me. Praise to the Church of Eos, the Book of Lucario. We'll be reading verses 1 through 5 shortly in this game number 2 to see if it is as effective as we want it to be. But that is a problem to deal with alongside that Blaziken. That is 3 all-rounders and a defender. So Pokemon that are able to sustain themselves, my guy, that is going to be a problem. But if MDR can catch them all in that very singularity, Gaddy has a task on their hands with the Suicune, but it's only going to be effective up until level 11, especially for that Mega Lucario, because Power Up Punch is going to stop any kind of crowd control coming their way. So MTZ have it to play for. They're up against a very, the Book of Lucario, it's kind of a bit of a troll, but it is, we can call it a troll when you see it on paper, but it is a demon to deal with. So this is going to be a test for MTZ to see how they deal with it. Amara on that boss wall has the ability to pick up and put down, give everybody a big hug, and show them just how friendly interdimensional Bug can be. So they have a comp, like you said, a very good comp, especially for this Fearless draft. And they're going to go up against something that they probably weren't expecting. 3 all-rounders is a tough task, my friend.
It is a tough task, and the crowd control is going to be a bit too much. You know what you can do to try and handle crowd control, buddy, especially for your computer, is you can go check out Pink Parsnip Computers, our sponsor here for the Unite Fight Club, as they have some incredible offers on their website, courtesy of Engage. You can go check out and use code ENGAGE5 for 5% off your entire order, site-wide, chat. That is site-wide, no matter what you buy. Upgrades for your computer, upgrades for your streaming gear, whatever you want, that's 5% off. Use code ENGAGESTREAM to get £15 off the Stream Deck Mini, or use Engage Ship for free UK shipping on any purchase over £300. Pink Parsnip Computers, go check them out online and get yourself a mega deal.
Mate, I have always thought that I should get a Stream Deck, but then I thought, I don't use it as often as I do because you and I spend most of our time casting this game, or rather than stream ourselves. So maybe you and I can split a Stream Deck one of these days. Pink Parsnips Computers, thank you so much for being a wonderful sponsor here at the UFC. Heading back to the action on Thea Sky Ruins, Pokémon is going to take the central lane for the side of MTZ Esports. Church of Eos have split up Pastor Lucario and Revlin Lucario, going into different lanes respectively. However, Blaziken, Little Torchic is going to take the central area for them.
Yeah, so if you can limit the evolution onto that Umbreon, that would be huge for you on the side of Church of Eos. But here we go in the top side, but it is going to be damage left, right, and center. Not an easy task for Christo going up against a Suicune and a Buzzwole up there.
I mean, in that bottom lane, we have another tall task down for the bottom as MDR takes out a Lucario. Well played to the side of MDR, but Swineup is a problem to Will, getting that booster with the teleport. Don't get caught in the Ice Fang that time round. Top side, Amara is putting those muscles to good use. Combustion has no choice but to fall back to their pad. The Church of Eos are stumbling in the early games up against MTZ Esports.
I honestly think Amara is one of my favorite all-rounder players in the EU region, buddy, and I've got many. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just love seeing them here. They're fantastic, and I love the way MTZ plays around them. This is exciting gameplay. Church of Eos here, going to see if they can sneak away with a little bit of experience, but Amara tries to shut them down. Christo is sent back to Nurse Joy. All they can do on this poor Alchemy is trying to limit what MTZ are able to do, but Relly is sent back in as well as more points rain in for MTZ.
It was an absolutely gorgeous pickup by Amara to put Christo in the path of Gaddy to get those stuns coming up. But here, we've got Galnagano playing on the front foot with that Pillar Swine, gets caught in the mean look. This is a way to stop your all-rounders and allow Pokémon to just come in and do what they do with that all the electricity that Pokémon can sustain. We've got Galnagano against steal a Citrus Berry away here. Amara has to go back to their center to get a little bit of healing, but here we go. We've got Pokémon coming in. Knight wants to take down the Alchemy, and they do. MTC Esports, that comp is looking fire right now, my guy.
It is, and it's pretty much online as well, buddy. Not too far off the level 9 on Amara. We've also got Gardevoir here with the damage that they can drop. And I like the experimentation coming out from Church of Eos, though. We don't know how effective this double Lucario could be, and they're going for the full all-rounder play. And I like that experimentation here in this exhibition match, buddy. We all want to see it, and it's interesting to see how MTZ respond to it as they do get a secure onto the Umbreon here. And Church of Eos are looking to grab this Regirock. They've got zoning ready to go on the side of Galnaguna. They're going for the rip here. They have the secure on the side of this Blaziken. They are going to take it uncontested as a huge block comes in from Gunnar to stop that Suicune getting through.
I mean, it was a good block, but unfortunately, Suicune just going in unnecessarily. There's the supercharged Supercell Slam coming in from a Pokémon. The mean look, I think a mean look is a great asset move here against all of these all-rounders that just like to move around, especially this E-speeding Lucario. Yeah, mean look it in. There's Galnagana going to try and stop it, but they put Amara right close to where Cristo is. Hyper Super Swell Slam's going to come through, punch it away. The Lucario. Lucario punches you, you punch it right on back. Laura Cannon comes out for as well to try and heal some, to take some damage as they have gone searching for Gaddy on this weekend.
Oh, Callie wants it, diving up the flux zone, but just ends up frozen. That is a brilliant Unite move coming out from that alchemy to keep Callie up on the field and give them some points into this. But are they going to be able to do so? Yes, they do. Haru was there to try and stop it, but Church of Eos have now cut down this score lead, and they are getting themselves well back into this game. But the Supercell Slam's going to come back through. Cristo has to go on the retreat here. They're going to wait for that close combat to be used before Knight dives in again, trying to deal with Cristo, but they get back through with a power-up punch. They've got close combat ready to go, but Amara says you ain't going anywhere but Nurse Joy, buddy. I'm going to use your own Blaziken as a weapon to take you down. There's the other Lucario on the field. Callie goes into the arms of Amara as they're ready to combo them back to Nurse Joy as well.
I mean, what else can you say about Boswell taking your own team and beating you into submission with them? There's nothing scarier than getting beaten by your own Mammoth Swine, because that's a big, thick boy in its own right. That thick fat ability coming into great effect right now, but MTZ Esports might have stayed for a little bit too long. Gaddy got a nice freeze coming out with the Whirlpool, but look at MTZ Esports. They're waiting. They're baiting. They thought they were going to retreat, and Galnagana is looking for him, but decides against it. MTZ Esports showing a little bit of patience in this one, Tano, and I like to see it. They're going to go straight on to the Regieleki in the top side, as Church of Eos are going to go to the basement side. Can Lucario come in for the steal? No, they cannot. The electricity coming out from Regieleki. The Mega Evolution comes out. They're going to go on it to the Gardevoir, but the mean look, beautiful mean look to stop Mega Lucario attacking the Gardevoir.
Yeah, I mean, they do get the Fairy Singularity off, and they do manage to grab somebody in it, so it's not a pavement one, but MTZ Esports have responded in defense in the top side, but bottom side, buddy, it was left open. It was an exposed wound as Church of Eos are going to score those points and take the lead now as we're 4 minutes in. The Ultra Swole Slam is used to take the KO onto Callie. We saw the Aura Cannon come out from Callie as well, but right now, Church of Eos have got themselves well back into this game.
They have. They're only in the lead by 12 points right now. We've got Lucario come back in. The close combat's going to keep them nice and healed up. The Umbreon Unite move alongside the Endless Ice Spikes. Amara has decided to attack the supporter. You take the supporter away from the all-rounders. They can't heal up as much as they want to. E-Speed. Lucario going to schmoove and groove and cut their way through the side of MTZ Esports. But Amara has decided to target the Fire Chick. Galnagana says, nope, hold my Ice Fang into the Mammoth Mash. Going to pick up a KO as well. Church of Eos doing a brilliant job on the defense.
Ooh-wee. Buddy, what more could we expect from these two teams? This has been a brilliant set already, but MTZ, they need to take this if we want to go to a game 3. Right now, Church of Eos, they've got the levels and they've got the points, so it is very close, and especially with a minute away from Groudon, this could still go either way as we see level 13 hit on Amara, Knight hits level 13 on the Pokémon. They are the two Pokemon. You don't want to be hitting those levels before this Groudon fight if you're Church of Eos.
We are deep. Well, we have started the final stretch. 1 minute to go till Groudon appears, as my beloved co-caster did inform you guys. Those 2 level 13s on the side of MTZ Esports are going to be a problem. On the side of Church of Eos, we've got Lucario just coming over to level 13 as well. We're going to see what this bottom objective is. However, just searching for Lucario, going to retreat away from that Whirlpool, but MTZ Esports have decided that they want to go for this Regieleki. It can walk. They can push this in and go for the points. They're healing on the side of Church of Eos is going to get a little bit of a buff, especially from that Alcoremi going into this one. Regieleki has walked. Are MTZ going to fall for the trap because they've got 2 Lucarios and an Alcoremi waiting to see if anyone decides to go? There's the Supercell chance. That Slam is actually going to be used to retreat for the side of MTZ Esports. Groudon has spawned. Let's see if this could be a different 2-minute game for the side of MTZ.
Can't believe how close this has ended up being, buddy. And right now, it's literally anyone's game. Who's going to take the fight first? It's so close that they're probably not aware who is going to be taking the lead. They will get a notification, but it is just going to tell them that it is a close one. Knight here has to escape from that close combat, is able to do so, charging up the Supercell Slam. They're going to go on in. Zip Zap Full Charge Spark is going to come out as well, but a brilliant timed Unite move from that support is going to keep them plenty healing. Relly has kept Church of Eos in that fight because now they've taken the KO onto the Pokémon and they now have control of this crowd on Pit. Fairy Singularity is going to come on out. Pulls in Cristo, doesn't find the KO just yet. Buzzwole does though. In the meantime, the Super Small Slam. Hey, who takes out Lucario? It's none other than Buzzwole, whether it's one or two. You buy one, you get one free as Relly tries to escape here. Amara looking to shut them down, uses this Mamoswine as a weapon yet again. MTZ, they've kept themselves into this game well and truly, Lobo.
They've held strong, and Amara has gotten a double KO, like you said, using a Lucario to beat another Lucario. Galnagana picks up Amara with that Ice Fang. They're going to try and score, but here it is. MTZ Esports are actually in the lead by 20 points. Lucario's going to jump top to stop the Suicune from getting 40 in. The defense of this tier 1 on the basement side is so important for the side of Church of Eos. Paulmon's going to try and find the Lucario. Amara is out in no man's land. They've gone onto the pad, picking up the supporter Alcremie. That's what you want to target. Lucario's going to get a stack in into the top path as well with 20 seconds left to go. MTZ Esports have to score now. They have to score now because they are behind, but the score is stopped. Blaziken gets stopped, and Church of Eos might actually come out with this one with the score going in from either, I think it was Cristo. 3, 2, 1, game over.
Ooh. Bro.
I actually don't know. I don't know if any scores went in. I don't know if any scores went in.
As far as exhibition matches go, what is going on? These two teams are electric. We love to see it here, but I cannot wait to see this go. I don't think they did enough to.
No,
Church of Eos.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
That's a shame, mate, because wow, what an effort that was. Look at Amara again, 36% of your team's damage, 104k. Knight putting up a decent showing as well. Haru taking damage all day long, providing the healing. MTZ had control of that game until we saw a bounce back from Church of Eos at that 6-minute mark. And again, it's that crowd on fight, buddy. Much better from MTZ in that one, though. They definitely responded in kind and held out in that final few fight, but it's all about those back caps you got to be wary of here in the new Faya Sky Ruins.
I mean, it wasn't even that much of a back cap that went through. That scoreline was so unbelievably close. And yes, MTC Esports, 100%. That ground on fight was theirs. Amara taking out both Lucarios at that point in time. Incredible, but found Galnagana putting up a incredible defense on that tier 1 on that base pad, just doing what they had to do to keep them in, stopping the scoring. We thought the Umbreon would get the score in as well, but it was stopped because that passive was broken. If that passive was up, maybe they get that score in and we're going to a game 3 situation. But I want to say, I'm going to put it down to experience coming up for the side of Church of Eos. They do have players that have a little bit more of that competitive experience, but going in and just scoring even the smallest amount of number. Because when that close battle comes up, you know that it's a 20-point game. You know it's a 20-point game, which means in that final stretch, it's a 10-point game if you need it to be. And 10 points can be scored without being stopped in those final minutes. So the smart play coming out from the Church of Eos, but for an exhibition match, MTZ Esports showed up for that second game. Absolutely brilliant job. And 100k on a Buzzwole, that's no mean feat, especially going up against a Lucario, a Mega Lucario, and a Blaziken. So really, hats off to Amara. Well done. It was an absolutely fantastic game, and MTZ Esports is now becoming one of those teams that whenever you and I see them on the roster for today, we're excited to see what they're going to play, because it's either the Tinkerton, it was the Aquatel Gyarados, we've even seen the Tyranitar come out from the side of MTZ Esports. They are a fun team to watch, and I think they are going to have a lot of fans slowly building up when they get onto these stages more often.
That they will, buddy. It's great to see. This is why the Unite Fight Club is here, chat. We want to see these teams come in. We want to see them develop, and we want to see them improve. The MTZ are the target for Unite Fight Club, and we will see them get better. And that's what I can't wait to see. As I said, a couple of their players have experience with playing esports in Pokemon Unite. A couple of them don't. So it is all valuable experience. Church of Eos, every single one of their members has some experience with Unite esports. But also, we've got more teams coming. This is the big thing, right? Arigato, unfortunately, have had to bow out of the Unite Fight Club. Unfortunately, their team has had some issues with some players no longer able to compete. But, and you won't want to miss this, chat, because it's coming on Thursday. Komai Esports is going to be taking the stage here at Unite Fight Club. And that is going to be an absolute belter because they've got a new roster. You can go check out the Play Along podcast where we had a conversation with their new roster and their manager. Oh boy, Lobo, is that going to be a joy for us?
I was so excited to see that announced on Twitter when I was away over the weekend. It was so incredible. And the fact that they're joining the UFC, which is great. And you guys can go check out all of the action. You can go check out all the players. You can go check out the results. You can go check out the teams that are going at www.playunite.pro. This is an absolutely banger website that our boys behind the scenes that Rip has actually put together. It is a fantastic website. I'll get the production of the mods. If you could post that link into chat, you guys can have a look at the stats. You can have a look at the games. You can have a look at the grades that your players have been these players have been given. You can even talk to your players through message boards as well, and either get advice, talk to them about the games that they had. But we're encouraging as much communication as we can throughout this region. It is my region away from home. It is the region I have chosen to be a part of because I absolutely love the players. I love the vibe. My buddy is here, my caster duo that I would never love to abandon. I will stay with you until the end of time, my friends. So it's going to be a great time going forward because we're doing this up until December. As soon as the new season is announced, we're going to keep going with the UFC. There's going to be so much more Unite content for you guys to consume. But as with every UFC, buddy, we have to do our thank yous. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes. Rathor, Zen, Pasta. Thank you for Arpit for our production, telling us what we have to say in our ears so we don't look like more fools than we usually do. Thank you to our mods in the chat as well. The big boss himself, who is always here, giving us the support that we need. And of course, Pink Parsnips Computers, our new sponsor. We are so excited to be bringing these sponsors to you guys. Go check out them and get yourself some gaming peripherals. Make your setup look nice. Tano, we'll talk about that stream deck mini when we get together next time. And also a big thank you to you for sitting here with me on a Tuesday morning. For me, it is a Monday night for you, but there's no other place I'd rather be. Anybody else you would like to say a thank you and adieu to?
Of course, the consistent viewers that come in and talk to us and get involved, we see you and we appreciate you every single week. We all want Pokemon Unite Esports to get bigger, to get better, and we all want our region to be represented in Pokemon Unite Esports on that world stage. That's what this is all about. So thank you so much for supporting us here at INGAGE GG. Thank you so much for supporting the teams and the players. And we will catch you again on Thursday for 2 absolute banger matches. If you want a sneak peek, check out the website. Otherwise, keep an eye on that Twitter post. We'll catch you soon. Bye.